Chapter 4. Training to get prepared. Set aside your current career and athletic prowess or lack thereof and simply imagine for a moment you are a professional boxer. As a devotee of the pugilistic arts, you know most prize fighters will never reach the pinnacle of the sport. Now, you may think I'm referring to winning a world championship belt, but I'm not talking about taking on the current heavyweight champion of the world. No, reaching the true pinnacle of this sport would mean taking on one of the all-time greats. And you've just been given such a once-in-a-lifetime chance by signing a contract to fight Mike Tyson, the greatest to ever lace up boxing gloves in a generation. A fight is scheduled for 6 months from now. The big question you must answer is how on earth will you prepare for the fight? Now, if you plan the way many small and medium business owners approach exit planning, having no plan at all, you're headed for swift disaster. No boxer would ever dream of rolling out of bed to face off with Iron Mike in the ring. A better approach would be to engage in half-hearted preparations like sparring with gym buddies and cutting fast food from your diet. You'd be in better shape than if you didn't prepare for the fight at all, but Tyson would still eat you for lunch in the ring, and he probably wouldn't stop at just your ear. The proper way to prepare for a main event against Tyson would be to build a team of experts to help you perform at your very best. A personal trainer for fitness and a nutritionist would ensure you're eating the right things. An expert trainer would lead your sparring sessions, and a salty old cornerman who has seen everything would impart sagacious advice. Your team would likely include other support staff, such as a sparring partner who has taken on Tyson before, maybe even a video analyst to glean details of Tyson's past fights. When he ducks left, is he going to try to daze you with a right hook or land his devastating uppercut, which ended many bouts almost before they started? For context, boxing earned the nickname the Sweet Science from sports writer Pierce Egan way back in 1813. The moniker stuck because boxing is truly strategic, often compared to chess in that regard. Contrary to popular thinking, it isn't at all about wildly throwing punches. Assembling a team of experts and dedicating time to training and strategic preparation is the only way you'll even make it to round 2 with a fighter of Tyson's caliber. Of course, not everyone can relate to boxing, so let's consider another story with a similar theme. In early 2024, 26 teams competed in a unique driving event. The road to Hanoi Marathon is a far cry from the spectacle of a NASCAR race. Instead of race cars thundering around an oval, this road rally event was only open to teams driving classic cars built before 1976. They navigated the jungles of Southeast Asia on a 4,000-mile trek through Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos. The journey lasted a full month. It involved many intricate tasks of navigation, including driving on the infamous Ho Chi Minh Trail. During this time, teams also had to keep their classic cars running. That's no mean feat when driving through the jungle instead of Interstate 75 through Georgia. The teams that completed the grueling trek carefully planned ahead. They laid out each leg of the journey to not overly stress their vehicles or themselves and had strategic supplies and spare parts in place. More than that, they also made sure to enjoy the trip. For successful teams, the road to Hanoi wasn't about the destination. It was about the journey. As a friend once told me, it's all about the dash on the tombstone between the date of your birth and your demise. On a spiritual note, I'm reminded of Pastor Andy Stanley's message of, it's not what you save, it's what you gave. He is, of course, talking about this at the individual level, similar to how people eulogizing at funerals discuss how much the deceased gave back to the world. On a professional level, my team and I are driven by the same conviction. Daily business owners lose what they've built up by failing to plan for their exit. It's my mission to prevent that from happening to you. Just like the boxer facing Mike Tyson, or the rally driver braving dirt jungle roads, small and medium business owners require a strategic plan and a team of experts to successfully exit their business, whether that's in 12 months or 10 years. Luckily, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. I've developed a multi-step plan that's worked consistently for owners no matter their industry and/or circumstances. Practical steps to preparing your exit plan. Returning to sports, the best teams practice fundamentals before attempting more complicated plays. Even at the major league level, a second baseman will train fielding ground balls before trying any intricate double play combinations with the shortstop. Your exit plan should follow this same philosophy. There are steps you must take first so you can proceed with confidence, building a plan on solid bedrock instead of shaky assumptions. Let's start by evaluating where your business is today. Step Step 1, Evaluation. Before anything else involved in creating the perfect exit plan, you must discern what the baseline is, the current value of your business. Evaluation tells us what your business is worth in today's market and today's industry. Since most exit plans are aimed 5 to 10 years in the future, if not longer, reassessment with some frequency is almost always part of any plan. If you're in year 8 of a 10-year plan, you don't want to be relying on a company valuation almost a decade old. Such ongoing company valuations are also performed by Sofer Advisors' team of experts, our most direct contribution to your successful exit plan. Step 2, Holistic Financial Plan. If a client doesn't have a financial advisor of their own already, we introduce them to one we've had success with in the past. Sofer Advisors works in tandem with your advisor throughout the process using a strong collaborative approach. Although we list this as a second step, it typically happens concurrently to Step 1. There is no reason to wait for evaluation to be completed to start planning your future. We can use a temporary figure based on a rule of thumb in developing the holistic financial plan that can later be replaced to refresh the plan once the valuation is completed. Initially, I was surprised by the number of small and medium business owners resistant to both performing evaluation and working with an advisor. As I've discussed the issue more with business owners, it's mostly a matter of worrying over the time commitment, financial costs, and relying on someone else to evaluate financials. Owners with an entrepreneurial streak can find this uncomfortable. Even so, the story of a Sofer Advisors client, we'll call Susan, shows why this is so vital. Susan's story, desperately in need of expert advice. Susan ran a successful manufacturing firm. It had been in her family for generations. She wanted help developing an exit plan as there wasn't a family member interested in taking over from her. However, she didn't wish to see her company just vanish when she was ready to retire. There was just one catch in Susan's request. She wanted to skip steps 1 and 2, marching straight to exit pathways. As diplomatically as possible, I told Susan she had to slow down her approach. I explained the importance of having a business baseline value Step 1, as this would inform practically every aspect of her exit planning. Then I asked her to tell me about her team Step 2. Susan explained she had a financial planner, so I felt a little bit relieved. This would be short-lived. Digging deeper, I discovered Susan's financial planner was someone running the company's 401k plan, advising her which mutual funds she should invest her personal funds in. I felt incredulous, thinking to myself, that's it. Turns out Susan never had a financial planner perform a holistic financial plan for her family. Importantly, this type of planning goes far beyond determining some mutual fund selections. Next, I explained to Susan how a holistic financial planner could collaborate with Sofer Advisors to accomplish modeling based on her personal goals, such as when she'd like to retire, among others. This, in turn, would inform the team about the assets needed to accomplish these objectives. Without both sides of the coin, an accurate business valuation and a holistic financial plan, we'd be fumbling in the dark if the holistic plan's modeling tells us that probability of success is lower than comfortable. Then we've got to roll up our sleeves to find ways to enhance value. Thankfully, Susan grasped the importance of the valuation and the financial plan based on our discussion. She even agreed to stop the process until she could meet with the financial planner I suggested to her, an expert in creating holistic financial plans for business owners like her. What happened next is called the triggering event. It empowered Susan and her team of advisors to create the ideal exit plan for her needs. Introducing the triggering event. When the average person hears the words triggering event, they may think of a major life happening forcing a dramatic change of plans, like the cancer diagnosis Carol's husband received in Chapter 3. Yet in the world of exit planning, it has a very different meaning. According to the Exit Planning Institute, the triggering event is an independent personal, financial, and business assessment correlated to the business range of value. The triggering event derives its name from the fact this holistic valuation and planning exercise spurs a flurry of action to set up the ideal exit plan based on a foundation of strong data. The triggering event produces a vast amount of data, answering questions like, if we sold at today's value, would we be able to retire at the age we desire, or would we run out of money? Perhaps the most important query answered by the triggering event is how many years in the future the ideal exit will occur. Without both the business valuation and the holistic financial plan in place, Answering this is like playing pin the tail on the donkey. We completed the triggering event in collaboration with Susan's new financial planner, using advanced techniques such as Monte Carlo simulations to determine the likelihood of the business supporting her desired retirement age. These simulations provide probabilities ranging from high to low. They also answer important questions, creating new ones and further choices. For example, if the probability is quite high the business value will support the desired exit date, we needn't do much with the business value. Think about the real estate market. If you have the right house in the right location, you probably don't need to renovate to get a strong sale. You might not even need to stage with rented furniture to fetch an excellent price. But what if the probability of the business supporting the exit plan is low? Sticking with the real estate analogy, we know we'll have to make improvements to sell at a good price in a timely manner. To accomplish this, we might fix up key areas of the home, perhaps working with an advisor who would tell us our kitchen is the first thing to upgrade. After that, experts can stage the house so interested buyers feel at home as soon as they cross the threshold. In other words, the exit plan is still completely possible, but work must be done and questions must be addressed. Your exit planning cabinet. When a business value isn't in line with exit planning goals, more questions emerge. Should personal spending choices change? Should we delay retirement dates? Yet Sofer Advisors finds the most powerful question of all is, can we raise the business value to where it needs to be to support the plan? Creating a roadmap to get there can take many forms, one of which is bringing in another expert. Sofer Advisors often helps clients with value acceleration. If we cannot, we introduce clients to coaches or consultants specializing in value acceleration. These people hold clients accountable, keeping them on track for a successful exit. You've read the word collaboration in this chapter several times. This is the theme of everything we do. Imagine having a cabinet of experts who each brings their specialty to your exit plan while simultaneously working with every other expert on your team. After all, if the president benefits from a cabinet of advisors, why shouldn't you? Although each team member has their own function, they all serve a greater purpose, pointing out blind spots and helping you adhere to the plan. I sometimes compare this protocol to how doctors work. Health-wise, you may have a team of specialists in your medical corner, a podiatrist to treat your feet, a hepatologist to take care of your liver, a cardiologist for your heart. Just as there is a general practitioner at the heart of your medical care team, your exit planning team must have an exit planner at its core. Sometimes, Sofer Advisors serves as that exit planner. If not, we support the exit planner's work. This may be a CPA or even a family lawyer. You can call your group by any name you like, your exit planning cabinet, your dream team. Heck, even your SWAT team. Either way, the end result should be a combination of experts working together to give you the best exit plan. This teamwork approach aligns the efforts of each member to stay laser-focused on the single overriding goal, your success. Now, let's review key roles of your exit planning cabinet. Who comprises your dream team? The ideal cadre includes experts in a variety of fields. Note, some of these folks are not always necessary, joining the team only on an as-needed basis. Financial advisor. We've discussed this person's role at length so far. Their job is to maintain the most visibility into the personal side of the equation. They know not only your business, but also your dreams and desires. The key is to preserve an expansive view of your goals, assets, and weaknesses. Legal experts. Multiple lawyers may contribute to this process. The IP variety can review patents and trademarks, ensuring they are in good standing. Business counsel can help with a buy-sell or lease agreement. An M&A attorney may work on a letter of intent or purchase agreement. Trust experts can set up asset protection vehicles long before a sale. And employment advisors can review issues with contractors and staff. Accountant, bookkeeper. Accountants have an obvious role to play. It is critical in exit planning that we ensure compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local tax laws. Also, a bookkeeper can manage the financials of the business, such as the balance sheet. Exit planner value accelerator. This is your quarterback, managing efforts of your cabinet, focusing the full group on value acceleration if needed. Sofer Advisors usually fills this role for clients, shaping the overall team and its activities. Bankers. Bankers contribute to the financing side of any future transaction. If a buyer needs financing, we involve a commercial banker to facilitate, much like a prospective home buyer needs a bank or mortgage broker to close the deal. Bankers are typically involved late in the game, fewer than 12 months before you are ready to sell. As with the real estate market, you don't need an agent to list your home until renovations are done. No one wants to walk into a construction zone when viewing a house. IT cybersecurity. Even a wonderful business running like a well-oiled machine can be brought to the brink of disaster by clicking a single link in a phishing email. So many businesses have been hacked or suffered from ransomware attacks that we must ensure your business is properly protected. Buyers get spooked when they think your business is at risk of failure, ranging from hacking to improper backups. This expert plays a crucial role in such safeguarding. Expense consultant. Increasing the value of your business isn't only about raising the top line. You can also boost value by cutting expenses. The right expert can find you places to save money, such as reviewing vendors to see if you're overpaying. Insurance. Insurance is about risk mitigation, a crucial subject. This expert will help with everything from workers' compensation to property casualty insurance, EO plans, and life insurance, ensuring there are no coverage gaps that could leave your plan in tatters. Fractional Chief Sales Officer. One of the best ways to raise your company's value is to increase revenues and profits. A sales and marketing expert tasked with boosting revenue can make huge contributions in this area. The fractional portion of the title indicates this person isn't working for you full-time. They provide extremely impactful contributions on a limited or as needed basis. Fractional Chief Operating Officer. An experienced COO can document processes, discerning everything that makes your business tick. This is especially key for companies in which all the systems are documented only in the owner's head. Moreover, a COO can coordinate with IT experts and other team members to streamline operations via automation, reducing expenses and heightening profits. As with the Chief Sales Officer, the fractional in the title indicates this isn't a full-time hire either, but rather a part-time expert contributor. How I learned to love the exit planning cabinet. I recall the first time I was part of an exit planning cabinet in action. It changed my career's trajectory due to how powerful and effective the team was. I was brought on by a business attorney to help a person we'll call Sam. Sam was the owner of an architectural business worth about $11 million. He was in his late 50s at the time. The team also included Sam's financial advisor, accountant, and later his personal attorney. We gathered to provide our points of view on Sam's situation. I doubt any of us knew the magic that was about to unfold. We came into the meeting knowing Sam's original exit plan. He wanted to leave with an employee stock ownership plan in place for his staff of 35 to take over ownership. I assumed opinions of this plan were mixed. When it was my turn to speak, I laid out the reasons I was against an ESOP. I felt an ESOP was not an ideal exit plan for Sam's business. For starters, ESOP plans are expensive to set up and ongoing administration is also costly. They also work best with 50-plus employees when you have a solid middle management structure, not the 35 employees with limited middle management, as was the case in Sam's organization. Worse yet, they can undermine the employee's current culture. Sam was a huge Dave Ramsey fan and believed the debtor is slave to the lender. Why force the company to apply leverage through debt? Plus, the employees aren't owners today, why force them to be? The team discussed my points as well as other points made by members of the cabinet. By the end of the discussion, they had swung around to my point of view. Looking back, I remember how cathartic that meeting was for me as a professional. I recall thinking, this is the right way to plan an exit, and nicknamed the meeting the State of the Union. This event proved to me there is no substitute for bringing experts into one room or Zoom meeting so they can all contribute to each other's ideas in real time. Otherwise, the client receives disjointed advice from the various B2B advisors, and those advisors do not get to hear each other's points of view. Sam followed the advice of his exit planning cabinet. He sold his company to a private equity firm, and most of his employees are still working for it under new ownership. Sam later started a new company to keep himself busy. He's also spending more time on philanthropy. Sam's doing exciting things and following his passions thanks to all the work accomplished by his dream team of exit planning experts. Now that's a knockout success story. In our final chapter, I'll lay out a vision for success just like Sam's that you can enjoy using your own successful exit plan.